Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, we'll be streaming on Sunday this week, not Monday. So join us there. I think we'll be going back to Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, trying to figure out what's going on in that rather mysterious and noir situation. Yeah, do join us as we try and unravel something. And we're looking forward to that. It's going to be fun. We've also, of course, got other content on Patreon, including some very difficult crosswords. Saber's Listener, the most recent one that went up, including, some other stuff too, like connections and gridogram, and of course the monthly Sudoku Hunt, No Trump game. We've got many other things going on, like apps, and they do feature line Sudoku, killer Sudoku, Arrow Sudoku too, all relevant to today. And do check them out. There's the Worms as well, and they are great feats of construction and great fun to solve, which is really all we ask from any puzzle. And we get to showcase so many on this channel. There's a bit of merch as well. Do get yourself a Bobbins hat cap or something else, but loads going on as always around the channel. Check out the Marty Sears Rat Run merch. Now, let's have a look at the rules of this puzzle. I don't know if this was part of the setting for Skojo's double arrows and arrows prompt. Probably not, since there are also German whispers and a killer cage in it. But anyway, Chris Napolitano is a very accomplished constructor and has featured on the channel before. This one was recommended, I think it was by Austin, to us. And I'm going to give it a go. So let's go through the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So 1 to 9 must go in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Digits along an arrow with a pointer at the end of it have to sum to the digit in the circle. So those 3 will add up to that. Digits along a line that's joining 2 circles, those 3 must sum to the same total as the sum of the 2 circles, so the sums are the same. Adjacent digits along a green line have a difference of at least 5, the normal German whisper rule, and the 3 digits in the killer cage, their sum is shown and it's 7. So that's it. Give it a try on that first link. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. And I'm going to start with the very approachable killer cage. 7 in 3 digits, you must know by now, or if you don't, it's worth learning, is 1, 2, 4. That's going to put a 4 in one of these cells. What it's also going to do is allow us to do something with this line. So the 3 things I tell you about green lines are: 1, they can't contain a 5 because no Sudoku digit can sit next to it. 2, they therefore alternate between digits higher than 5 and digits lower than 5 to maintain the difference. So we can color this in alternating colors of pink and yellow. And 3, the numbers 4 and 6 have to be considered very carefully. They're monogamous, which means they only have one possible Sudoku neighbor. So this digit, which has 2 Sudoku neighbors that see each other and have to be different, cannot be 4 or 6. Obviously, it can't be 4 for another good reason. But that also applies to these digits. What does apply to these pink digits is they're not 1, 2, or 4. So if we tried to make them both small, as in lower than 5, we would fail, because one of them could be 3 and the other couldn't. So these must be high. So let's change the pink color to orange for high and the yellow color to blue for low. And this digit is a low digit and is a 3. And the other way we could have figured this out is by going, those couldn't both be orange in this box, which I've only just seen now. 3 must be surrounded by 8 and 9. The remaining digits in this row are 5, 6, and 7. Now you might be forgiven once for eliminating 7 from this cell, thinking that 7 cannot form part of a 3-cell sum that could go into one circle. But that's not necessarily true, because if 7 was there, in the case of this arrow, these 2 digits could be 1. What we do know about this circle is it's adding up to at least 7. I mean, I could color it orange for high if I wanted. And I appear to have just done so. These low digits in row 1 are 1 and 2 in some order, and the remaining digits in row 1 are 5, 6, and 7. Okay, that leads us to this barbell arrow over here, where this digit has to be, this is a double arrow, this digit has to be the sum of those two. So this has to be low, and this has to be at least 6 now. I thought that was going to give us a bit more out of those cells than it did. Right, I think the challenge is going to get a little bit steeper in a moment. And indeed, I don't know quite where to next turn my attention. So bear with me while we try and figure that out. These have not been very constrained. I could color that orange. We've had 3 orange and 3 blue in the row. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so these digits can't go above 3, I think. So they're definitely low as well. I am still carrying on the color scheme for some reason. The reason 3 is the maximum there is because 1 must go in the other one. So together they must equal a minimum of 4 if one of them's a 3. And that gives you the absolute maximum of 5 there. So let's turn that alert off. We don't need that. Oh, okay. This is quite interesting. Right. This arrow. These 2 digits, how low can they be? Because remember, 4 is a low digit. We've only got 1 more blue digit in this box allowable. And the other one on these 2 cells has to be, therefore, at least a 5. Now, that's quite interesting. If this digit wasn't a 3, so this was a 1-2 pair, then these 2 would have to be 3, 5, leading to 1 and 9, very specifically, on the rest of this arrow. And that would stop this being 9, which I find quite interesting as well. In fact, does it go further? A 1 there would stop this being 1. So this would now have a maximum of 8, and this would have a minimum of 2. And that would lead to these being definitely 1 and 5. Isn't that peculiar? Right, now I'm not saying that this has to happen, because this was all dependent on this digit not being a 3. If it is a 3, then that's 5, that's 1, and that's 9. This then can't be 1, 2, 4, or 3. That is the higher digit, but this now has the liberty to be a 1 or a 2. I think in either construction that I've come up with, this digit was 5. So where this isn't 3, and this is a 3-5 pair, we'd know exactly where they went because of the 5, 6, 7 triple. That would be 5. That would be 3. So that's where this isn't 3. Then we end up with 1 there and 9 there. This would be 8, that would be 2. We would have 1 here and we would have 5 here. So we would have 1, 5 there. In the alternative universe, this is 3. So the various things we've learned are that digit is 1 or 3. The 3 in box 2 is in one of those 2 positions. And this has to be 5. And those are some peculiar conclusions. Oh, that's a blue digit. Now, the interesting thing about 3 being in one of those is, where does 3 go in this box? Got to be there. And that's just fact now. Now we know that 5 is in one of these 2 cells in the row, along with 6, 7, 8, or 9. So 5's in one of them. 5's not in this cell now, which, that one we can suddenly colour orange by my colour scheme. Oh, these 2 are now orange as well. One of these is a 5 and the other is orange. So one of these is orange and one is blue. That's not all that helpful yet. That's really, the ways that this arrow can get filled are so different, but so powerful. 5 there, 3. If this is a 1, that's a 2. Then we go 5, 3, 1, 9. And then we also know 8 and 2. This isn't coming under pressure, is it? It couldn't be 6 because that would be a 2. It couldn't be 8 because this would be an 8. No, I mean, there are still ways to fill it. I don't know. That was a really interesting excursion into this arrow, but it might have now stopped in terms of what can be deduced. This digit. How could this already sees 3 in one of those two positions, because 3 is either there or goes on this arrow. So it can't be 3. It can't be 5, 6, 7, or 4. So we're theoretically left with 1, 2, 8, or 9. Now, how could this be 1 or 2? If this was 1 or 2, that would be a 1, 2 pair. That would be 3. That would be 4. And these would be at least 5, 6 and break the arrow. So that now has to be 8 or 9. The other digit out of 8 or 9 in this row is going in one of these cells, I feel, where there's still an orange high cell to come. And therefore, this is definitely low. I mean, there's no surprise there, but still, it's interesting to have created a 1, 2, 3 triple. And did I work out that if this was a 3, that was 1? I don't know if I did. Let's go through that again. If this was a 3, that would be 5, this would be 1, this would be 9. And no, I don't think I ever did go through this circumstance. If that was 3, this would be 1 or 2. And this arrow could begin with as little as 6. In fact, 6 is the minimum that those two cells add up to. So we can colour this blue 1, 2, 3, even label it, and colour this orange 7, 8, or 9. I find that quite interesting even in itself. It even stops this digit being 3, weirdly, because they couldn't be an 8, 9 pair. Oh, they couldn't anyway. If this is low, it's 1 or 2. If it's high, it's the third one from 7, 8, 9 in the box. It's constrained one way or the other, but I don't know which way. Now, I'm actually going to think about this barbell arrow as well, because we've only got one potential 1, 2, or 3 to go in this column that could go in one of these. So they must be a minimum of 1 and 4. I tell you what, that wouldn't work. 1 must be in one of these cells, because otherwise there'd be a 2, 3 pair adding to at least a 5 and breaking this. So one of these could be a 2 or a 3. If neither of them was 1, 2, or 3, then they are 4 and 5, adding to 9 here. And then that's become a 5 by Sudoku, and this is not allowed to be a 9. So this would then go 1, 2, 8, 4, 5, 9, 6, 7, and this digit would be a 3. Otherwise, that is possible. This one could be a 3, but otherwise one of these is a blue 1, 2, or 3, adding to something that is higher and giving something that is even higher. But that hasn't quite done the trick at all, has it? I haven't really been considering this double arrow because I don't know what to make of it, if I'm honest. It seems in an interesting position, but no, I don't know. Let's go back to this. If these were both high, one would be a 6. And then that would be a 1. If they're both low, that is 7, 8, or 9. One of those circumstances is useful. I don't know. Okay, let's go back to the thought about this being a 1, which makes this 3, 5, 3, 1, 9. And with that being a 1, this is 8 and this is 2. I mean, these are very strong implications. I don't quite know what they do, so I'm struggling to use that at the moment. Haven't really thought about this 2-horned arrow down here. Or this. I mean, given how interesting this arrow has been, maybe this symmetrical one really matters, but I don't really know how to give it an interesting treatment straight away. Okay, that's interesting. Surely 5 there is powerful. Let's try and rule out 7 here. That would require these to both be 1s. And that won't work because a 1 there makes this a 2, makes this a 3, and then you need a 1 here as well as a 1 here. So they're not both 1s, and that's not a 7. Can this be a 7? No. Perfectly straightforward. That's at least 1, 2, and that's at least 5. So this is an 8, 9 pair. I should have got there sooner, but we've got there now. Now, this arrow, this green line, is either 6 and 7 in those positions and a 1 here, or a high digit in this position, which would have to be 7 flanked by 1 and 2. So this digit is either 1 or 7. These are either a 6, 7 pair or a 1, 2 pair. And 1 and 7 are definitely being used on this line. And that digit isn't 7. And this one isn't 1. And that is big. That is big because now this can't be a 5, 3 pair, so that can't be a 1. That's where we've got to finally. If this was a 1, that would be 5, 3, and this would be a 1, and that clashes. Oh, that's lovely. So this is a 3. And now we can complete this arrow it's on, totally. Now, that's not a 3. Do we know this? We know this isn't 9. Okay, I don't know any more about that. 1 is looking at that cell, so that's not our 1 on this green line. Oh, maybe it doesn't do more. That's incredible. Oh, yes, 9 looks at this cell, so that's 8. Now this has to go 2, 1, 5. That's maximum, well, it's minimum on the line, and it adds up to that number. So this digit is not 5 and is clearly orange. And it's not 8. That 1 makes this digit a 2, and that stops this being a 6. So one of those 2 is a 6. I'm surprised this hasn't been determined, but it hasn't. Oh, 2 comes out of those cells, so they're now a 6, 7 pair. And if I avoid hitting the pause button by mistake, I can put a 1 in between them and colour it. Now, remaining digits in this box are a 3, 4, 5, and that must be 3. And this is a 4, 5 pair. These 2 are high and don't need a corner mark. Right. Now, these 2 digits on the barbell down here, they can't be 1, 2, or 3. So they have to be 4, 5, adding up to 9. And that must determine something. Yes, 6, 7 pair means that 9 goes here in the box, and this one is 8. And that keeps 8 out of these cells. Oh, I tried to put 9 in there and failed. There we go. This group is 1, 6, 7. Now, on this horned arrow, that has to have a 1. It can't be 6 and 7. So that's not 6. That is 6 or 7. And yeah, and that can't be 1, 7, because that would need a 1 here to make 9 there. And this 1 is going to prevent that. So that must be 1, 6 with a 2 here and a 9 in the circle. It's got to be, hasn't it, on that horn of the dilemma? Yeah, this digit's a 7. What about the other end of the double arrow? This group is now 2, 4, 8, isn't it? Yeah, it is, just according to the row. This cell on the whisper cannot be 4 because we can't put a 9 beneath it because there's already a 9 in row 4. So that is 2 or 8. If it's 2, this is 7 or 8, can't be 9. If that's 8, it doesn't work at all. Do 1, 2 and 3 all look at that cell? They do. So 8 won't work there. That is 2, and this is great. That's high. I don't know what digit it is. This is now 4. I do know that. And this 4, 5, 9 barbell exactly mirrors this one. And that's not 5. And this isn't a 9. And this digit is 8. And now we know that the sum of these 3 yellow digits is 15. Now, that is a very middly sum. And although we know that 1 isn't in it, we don't know how to make it up. There could be 2 low digits or not even. I don't know. These are 2, 3, 8. And I'm going to keep the colouring going. It seems to remarkably have served me well so far. So, not that I can colour any of those, but still. 1 and 2 are looking at that cell. That's a 4. The 9 isn't doing anything. So, can we do anything with this arrow? Oh yeah, this circle sees 9 and 8 and 4 and 5. That makes it 6 or 7. I think 3 is too high because that must be at least 4. So this is 6 or 7. The maximum that, or the minimum that these can be is 1 and 2, which adds up to 3, leaving this to be 1, 2, 3 or 4. Now it can't be 2 or 3. Suppose we'd better let 4 in as a possibility. Okay, what else? I'm going to have to keep going. If that was a 4, this would definitely be a 2, 1 pair. And that would be a 7. If it was a 1, if it was a 1, we'd be forced to put a 1 here in column 9. And that won't work, interestingly. If this was a 1, column 9's 1 would have to be here. And to add up to 6 or 7, we'd need 4 or 5 here. That's incredible. This can't be a 1. It must be a 4. And these must be a 2, 1 pair. And this must be a 7. I could colour the 2, 1 pair. I've got 6, 3, 8 left in the final column. That 7 has made this an 8. It hasn't sorted out the 6, 7 pair on the other side. This can't be 8. One of these 2 is 8. That's not doing anything. Now, what about this arrow? I want to say it's got to have a 1 on. I'm not sure. I bet it has a 1 on. Okay, how about this circle? Can't be 7 or 8. Does it have to be 9? I don't know. I honestly don't think these digits are quite as constrained as I was expecting. Maybe if I add them all up together. I'm going to try that. So, let's assume those are 2s. Both of them. No, that one is actually a 1. That's just Sudoku. Sorry, hadn't seen that. So, these, which can't have a 4 in, are a minimum of 2, 3, 5, adding up to 10. These are a minimum of 1, 3, 4, allowing that to be a 2. And that does mean that all of these green cells together add up to an absolute minimum of 18. And they're 2 circles, that's a maximum for them. They're both 9s. So that must be what's going on. This must be 2, 3, 5, adding up to 10. This must be 1, 3, 4. And this must be a 2. And that's a lovely way, actually, of getting to a conclusion here. This digit can't be 3 by Sudoku. This can't be 2. 2, 3, 5 there makes this a 1, makes this a 2. Also takes 3 out of this pair. We've got 7 and 9 left here. We know the order. Let's not be ashamed to do the orange digits first. This is low and it can't be 2 or 3. In fact, by Sudoku, it must be a 1. 6, 8 pair there makes this digit 3. 4, 5, 6 to go here, but there's 2, 3, 5 triple, so 5 ends up here with a 4, 6 pair beside it. The 5 looks across the grid at 4, 5, which looks back across the grid at 6, 4. We colour the 4s blue and the 6 orange. I don't really know why we're still doing the colouring, but we are. That's a 7, that's a 6. That's a 7, that's a 6. Now, I should devolve into individual arrows here rather than just taking them as a pair. One of these digits has a 5 on. One of these arrows has a 5 on. If it's there, this is a 1, 3. Oh, look, we've got 1s there. Now, that's huge. Right, 4 and 3, I can just add it up. That's a 2. This is now 3 and 5, which adding it up again means that's a 1. I can definitely colour all of these blue. Down here, the 1 looks at this pair, 6, 1. That looks back across the grid at 6, 8. That gives us 3, 2, 8. And there's some colouring to do there. This 3, 5 pair is done. That's going to do the 4, 5 pair on the other side. This is a lovely puzzle. I mean, the way it unwinds, it is just pure elegance all the way through, isn't it? Great stuff. No wonder Austin recommended it. That's not a 5. Now, I'm probably going to have to think about this in a moment. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to avoid thinking about that. I'm going to fill in 9, 2, 3. 8 is in one of these cells. 5 is in one of these. I bet there's more Sudoku to do first. In this column, that digit is from 7, 8, or 9, and it sees 9. Oh, this is strange. Let's get rid of the yellow colour. And let's make those 2 orange now. That's orange, these 2 are blue. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4 in this box. These are from 5, 6, 7. Now, I am going to have to add this up, finally. 2 plus 15. No. What am I looking for? I'm looking for 15 as a total. 2 plus 13. Well, that is 7 or 8, and this is 6 or 5. So all I've learned is that's not a 7. Is this going to be enough to do it? I'm going to be distressed if it's not. Oh, look, I've now got a 7, 8 pair. So that's 9 at the top. That's 8. This can't be 8. Ah, I'm so confused. It didn't seem to get resolved. How does this work then? So presumably one of these pairs won't work together. Say if that was 7, 6. It doesn't look broken. How about if it was 8, 5? Yes, if that was 8, 5, this would be a 6, 7 pair, and that cell couldn't be filled. Isn't that gorgeous? What a fabulous finish. That's so clever. Right, that digit's a 5. That digit's a 5. I can colour everything else orange to complete my colouring. I feel like I've missed one cell in the colouring, but I hope I haven't really. And that is 7 and 6 there. This digit is an 8. That's 6 and 7 there. This is 7 and that's 8. And there we go. Maximum effort, maximum reward. And sorry for the gap in the middle there. There we go. Fantastic. That was excellent. And a very good puzzle by Chris. And thanks for the recommendation too. Super stuff. Thank you for watching. And I really hope you'll be able to join us again tomorrow. And then maybe for streaming on Sunday evening as well at 10 p.m. our time. Thanks for watching and bye for now.